Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Planet Destiny podcast number 136. And would you believe it, next week we'd have all been together for a year.
I don't believe it.
Still in your thunder, Mega. Mega's the one who mentioned this.
It doesn't
earlier
make any
on.
sense, but
No. But the
congrats
ultimate
to
question, congrats to us, and still, where's Teft?
We'll never know.
maybe for our big 1 year anniversary celebration, we'll finally reveal his location.
I swear to God, if we got Tef to just be on the podcast, just for that, it just opens with just him sitting there, like in a
just
room
for 5
somewhere.
minutes. He doesn't have to be a guest or anything. For 5 minutes, he's just like in one of the squares when we go live.
Yeah,
and then so everyone's like, "Wait, what?" And then he just kind of disconnects at a random time, and no one knows why.
It's never explained. But yeah, we are joined once again by the fantastic Moonvald. How you doing, Moon?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
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 We are very good indeed. And is that my intro done now? Can I be quiet and drink tea?
Yes.
I like it.
Hey! Woohoo! Nicely. What are we going to talk about anyway? It's been another busy week. Another fantastic busy week in Destiny 2.
The week of
always.
everything being broken.
Yeah.
That's the theme
First,
this week.
before we dive into the usual bullshit, because there's plenty of that to dive into, why don't we have our guest introduce herself to the people at home listening and or watching and or however you
In case
soak
you
in
missed
media these
last
days.
week, I suppose.
Moon,
My
tell us
name
a
is
little about you.
Moonvald. You can find me at twitch.tv/Moonvald and twitter.com/Moonvald. And that's about all I have to say. I'm not that interesting. I don't know why they had me back. Thanks for that.
we go.
She fits right in. If she's not
Selling the
interesting.
products, filling it. Yeah, filling in.
Top tier
You know,
points.
I rewatched last week's podcast, and a lot of my answers were, yeah, I like the thing because it's cool and fun. So I'll try to do better this time.
Yeah. That's my attitude towards it all, and people get real upset. I don't understand.
I'd like to real quick just thank Bones for accepting the money I paid him to drink out of a Husky Raid mug while on camera.
Oh wow!
Just look at that.
Wait a minute. Wait a
Look at
minute.
the
Can you hold that up
text.
to the camera, please?
Because
that,
the text
baby.
is a
That's
little small.
That's the design you put on your
No,
mug.
no.
Did you do that in
there it
MS
is.
Paint?
That
Oh,
is
there.
the-
Okay, there you go.
There it is. It says, "Oh no."
It's a bit of a modest
it.
design.
Okay.
It's like the mug is screaming, Husky Raid.
Well, it's the choice of a new
Minimalist.
generation.
Good lord.
We're simple men. We like simple things. All right. Simple Hoosier boys.
Here's a thing I did this week in Destiny is last night we played the raid and we were doing real well, so we had enough time to goof around in between. And we went back to get the chests and we were down in those hallways and I just got hard light, so I needed to use it, but we didn't have anything to shoot. So I just shot hard light down tunnels and made them bounce around and yelled, "Husky Raid! Husky Raid!"
Oh my God.
That's
For
the
like-
exact
for like
process
an
of
hour.
making a video. Is we just all yell Husky Raid and shoot.
They don't actually have a
Hard
script.
light.
They just go
No.
in and they just do whatever.
I was happy to get it.
I'm
Lovely.
jealous. I still don't have it on either console. So
So Husky Raid videos are just at a halt.
there's nothing
until
we can
you
do.
get it.
Exactly. No, I don't think any of us have it. Honestly, all of us are just like, anybody got hard light yet? Y'all got any more of that hard light, Bungie?
Yeah, that's a problem.
But you know, how was your week in a fully functioning, perfect game that had zero glitches, guys? All right, no glitches this week.
Well, due to the 6-hour maintenance that is impending tomorrow on the 25th, it's actually the 25th today for me, so there's maintenance later on today. 6 hours of maintenance again. So you're going to have to go outside, breathe fresh air, speak to your family, and make food.
See,
And,
you say that, and I already know it's a lie, because I'm not going to do any of those things. I'm going to sit at home, and what I do to pass the time when Bungie pops up maintenance is I play Twitter bingo. So I have this card lined up, right? And when Bungie tweets out that there's maintenance going on for 6 hours, you play bingo with the card. It's like, what the fuck, Bungie? Oh, there's a box right there. You check that off. They reply, I paid money for this game, and there's server maintenance. And you check that off. You get bingo
didn't you
really
warn
quickly.
us? Always
Why,
those
why
people.
didn't you warn us? Despite the dozen warnings that they posted on Twitter for the past week.
Exactly. It'll be the same people who are complaining that there were glitches who apparently think those glitches just fix themselves magically. Yeah.
Don't they, though?
Yes.
I mean, like, come on.
You know, but
What do we pay for here?
this was a fun week on Reset. It was what? Trials was still up when it shouldn't have been.
Zoe was still there for a
The
while.
Prestige Nightfall was messed up.
Yeah.
Zer was still there.
The
There was
the raid exotic quest is still glitched. It's really just it was none of it really is devastating or impactful like in a major way. It did nothing to ruin my fun in the game or anything.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny how it was like every little thing, just all the cracks were just breaking open at once, and I feel like that has got to be the worst feeling for Bungie when they like do the reset and just like 4 things are all broken. It's like, fuck, like, God.
Steve, you said that you checked on Zer. You told me this wasn't gonna happen, Steve. Come on, buddy. You gotta be a team player. Is there Steve at I don't know, I'm just making up.
I'm sure some Steve at
gotta
Bungie's like,
be
wow,
one
Fallout, what did I do?
Yeah.
Steve is the guy in charge of picking community focuses, and Fallout was next, but not anymore. Just rip that name
Off the list.
Too real, Mega. Too real. Too real.
Yeah, I was a little looking forward to Survival on Altar Flame, and I know some people got like an hour in, and it's really too bad we can't, as people, just say, you know what, let's not use the game-breaking glitch in the wall, and then we'd all have fun. But I will say that if there was anything to happen, another weekend of Countdown on a brand new map was okay. I still had a lot of fun playing Trials. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to keep that perspective when it does suck and they have to completely undo something to go like, well, at least we're not playing like Burning Shrine for the 180th time. We've only had this map for a week, so it was like, okay.
I love that map though. Like that map,
I like it
really
too.
like
It's
that
great.
map, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
I only got to play one card last weekend because I was away, but yeah, I don't think it was a massive problem. And aren't there like trial specific maps this time round? That was the rumor that I was cottoning onto. So it's not just a case of them switching out the map, early. So going backwards and using last week's map was more the thing. Altar of Flame Survival did look good though. I tuned into a couple streams of folks playing and it looked good. I don't know where it's so slow, it takes ages. And these games were quick, man, with good players. They were like really quick.
There's so much action in Trials. I'm like blown away. The games I played a bunch today, a lot. And just like, yeah, maybe the opening does feel a little familiar. Check spot, team shot if he's there, but any good team would just not give you that free kill. And games were crazy. Like there was so much variation in the how each round ended. Sometimes you never set at all and you get the kills. You just completely swarm them in the back. Sometimes you pull out an amazing cap and stuff like that. There's so much going on in Trials, and I love the elements where some of the biggest plays don't involve in deaths on either team. It's just there's so much going on, and it's been really fun. Trials has been awesome.
Yeah, man.
Moon, did you get to play more this time around? Did
Yes,
you get to enjoy more Trials?
I didn't. I can't say I enjoyed it. We kind of got rocked, but it just reminded me how out of practice I am. But other than that, it was fun to like experience the new map and stuff like that because I didn't.
What were you
get to play
going in
last
with
week,
that
so.
you got rocked? What were you using?
I played the 5th.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
look,
sure you can guess.
This is a no judgment zone, all right?
Yeah,
We use meta.
absolutely.
Come on now.
Yeah, no, just hard.
I have a
just,
Mida tattoo already.
Oh, do ya?
Here, so don't worry.
Yeah, just Mida, Uriel's gift, and then some rocket launcher.
Dude, up top, right there. Boom, hit it.
I have been stuck on this loadout, and I've used a little bit of both. I like the Mida sidearm combo. Fallout, I've been running the off-brand Last Hope, the Etana.
The Etana,
That's the one. That's the one.
The blue light special.
Yeah, I'm just
it.
like, I'm like you guys, right? But if I'm not doing that, I just can't stop using the Antiope and Mananan. There's this
Na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
I put Bumblebee on it, and I call it the banana. It's the banana.
Oh, I love it.
And that setup with the SMG primary with the low rate of fire ones are a blast if you're using them right. And it I like that build because I think it pulls me out of bad habits because I can't fall back on something like being comfy in the back of the map and then free radar from the right. So not that, you know, I'm have some moral high ground not using Mida. I just mean it forces me to be a little more aggressive. So I found by the end of my runs today, I was like halfway across the map when I started engagements, rather than that like first like, well, I'll check right now, right when you get kind of close to the middle. I would like sprint all the way in, try to get a grenade and push people, jump around and stuff, and it really forced my movement to have to go up a notch. So I'm loving that loadout. It's so fun. There's so many different things to use.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just love it. I'm just thinking about it now.
I've been about that. Oh God, what's the Vanguard scout rifle that?
Nameless
like,
Midnight.
Yes, that's the one that I've been liking the most.
I love it. Oh, the explosive rounds are so nice. So nice. Because if someone's just getting their feet stuck in cement, like people do really hard in this game, I shoot walls more than I shoot bodies. Just like
it's perfect for me because I miss so often that just that little bit of explosion on the wall. I'm like, I can clean this up. It's beautiful.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's nice to variate the loadouts. Like the scout rifles are strong because it's a long map. You've got a lot of lanes, you've got a lot of corners. There was one team that we were going up against with 98% wins, 5 KDs. They were like all running completely stacked, but they were so obvious with what they were doing, pre-firing every corner. I mean, you could hear it before you could see it. Like the sound cue was so much easier. So we knew, like splitting off onto Temport and Keyhole when you spawn on that one side where Keyhole will be on the left. So is that the cliff spawn?
That's attack.
Yeah, that's attack. Right. So you've got 2 ways to go. So there was a million ways you could go around that to avoid any of those major lanes. There was so much cover, and because we knew whatever corner they're pre-firing it, don't peek. Like third person, dance, like have a look around it, see which corners are like available for you to actually move around first before even putting an inch of yourself around the corner. Otherwise you'd be dead in a second.
This is a perfect moment to just take the side route into like minor shade on Twitter. Gonna see that smile on Bones' face. I think he already knows what I'm talking about. Like people just tweeting out clips of like PvP in a nutshell, and like walk around the corner, like totally hard scoping, and there's like 4 dudes, and they all shoot him with a scout rifle, and he dies. And Steve's like, "What the fuck?" It's like, well, dude, listen. Okay, first of all, that's kind of funny. Second of all, I do sympathize with you, and third of all, it's like that's the most high traffic lane in all of Destiny 2 PvP. We had trials on that map last week. Did you not learn your lesson last week? Like, just go to the lane. You know they're gonna be peeking. You know they're waiting for you with their fork and knife and the bib, and they're salivating. They're waiting for you to peek that. Like you gotta check it. You gotta check it. And then if there's no one there, okay, you go. And I know a lot of people are complaining about like, oh yeah, the Mida multi-tool, so OP. Oh god, the #1 primary, Mida multi-tool. I want to see trials happen on another map that isn't the same way. That you don't have, it's like a sniper lane, you know, like you have Keyhole, you have Temple, there's these huge long lanes. Of course, I'm gonna look for you with the Mida multi-tool. It's got high aim assist, vertical recoil. I get my radar when I get to scope, but I would really like to play trials on a small map.
Yeah.
And then when that weekend is over, then I want to see what the most used weapons are before we start crying like, oh my god, Mida.
It's like, I don't know. It's like as if it was Bannerfall and you complained that you got sniped when you jumped up like immediately onto the ledge. Like that's what's going to happen. That's
what happens.
That's what that lane is for.
Yeah.
that's a sniper lane. What are you talking about, you know? But yeah, I'm hoping, I agree, Fallout, like we have a smaller map, because so far, like, do you remember D1? All the maps are so small, they're like more suited towards shotguns and like close in quarters, and now we've got these massive maps with like a much smaller like lobby count on the players and stuff. I like that. So yeah, scouts are top dog for those kind of maps. Also, I think at the minute there's a lot of speculation about Mida being overpowered. I just want to throw my hat in the ring there. I don't think it's overpowered at all. I think high cal rounds are a different thing. Like, I'm not going to throw shade at high cal rounds as such, but I think they are kind of limiting the choice of weaponry a little bit, because obviously the The flinch is really aggressive. If you're laying into someone with a Mida, from the perspective of the person that's receiving the fire, you are, everything is shaking all over the place. It's very difficult to land shots, and it does add an element of, I'm not going to say RNG, but like you're going to miss shots if you're being shot at with a Mida.
Yeah.
So there's a huge amount of guns, and I think this time around Bungie have done a good job of the base balance of things. Maybe hand cannons might need a little love here and there, but like largely speaking, the base balance for default game is good.
You guys I just want to say, everyone who hates hand cannons just needs to get down to my shitty skill level and play against the people I play against, because I love using hand cannons right now.
Me too. Yeah.
I feel like I have just a fine time when I'm playing with them, because I'm not playing against elite players that hit me every time they shoot. I can just fiddle faddle around with my little better devils and just do some work. Yeah, it's a good time.
Oh, when they say that hand cannons are bad, you just wait till PC, buddy.
Oh
boy.
That's very true.
Yeah, but that's a different world. The guns are balanced.
Don't step on my toes now, Stormy. Come on. Stepping all over my toes.
I just want to I want to take a good spin on this and shift into a different topic about weapons that I've been noticing after 20 days of playing, and it comes up a lot in the power weapon discussion that I realized, but like, just think for a second that there are more than 2 shotguns that are really good, and that there's different reasons to use different shotguns. And just remember a time when there was one thing you did, range and impact, get that as high as humanly possible. Decision made. And now you've got variants within weapons. Scouts are good, duh, but there is like an awesome variety of scouts to use, and everyone feels differently, and every single one of them makes you do different things. Shotgun, same thing. You can just blast people down with Hawthorns with the full auto. Full auto's nasty on that thing. Or you get the really careful shots of the Trials one with a little slide boost. Or you can even put shot package on Retrofuturist. There's like so much to do, and I love that. I love that they're like, use the right weapon type that's for this, that's good in that situation, but within that weapon type is so much variety, and that's so cool. That's so cool. And that's because of the fixed rolls, I think, but also just good design on the part of each weapon having an identity. Like, the difference between using Better Devils and Old Fashioned. Like, there's a different thing you're looking for, and that's so cool, even if they're both really good.
Yeah. We have got variety.
Bravo.
Yeah. I think that can't be confused or fogged over. There is a huge amount of weapon variety. I think that the only thing that I would change is high cal rounds. Just take them away or change them, because I agree. PvE, you knock back Cabals and things, they flinch and things like that. That's cool. But I think adding that for PvP, I don't know. But what do you reckon? The high cal situation? Would you just leave it the way it is and just accept it, or would you tweak it, or what?
Right now, I think explosive rounds are such a good counter to it. I mean, I don't flat out like win 1v1s with the explosive rounds, but it certainly gets people to disengage, and that's huge in a game where your health, where your time to kill is a little bit longer. It's just saying like, I'm gonna get you weak. You're gonna have to back out, and you're gonna have to go stand in this hallway for 5 to 10 seconds while you get your recovery, and I think that's huge. I think people are just gonna have to find ways to mess them up. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's like, man, I wish I could just hit that one bullet that bounced wide because my screen got kicked up. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. I like, because that's the thing with the Better Devils, man. With the explosive rounds, it feels good to use. Like, and the Nameless Midnight as well. It feels like a really good gun to use. Like, it has that satisfaction value. I don't get the same Mida. I've never been a fan of Mida, even in like Destiny 1, but now I like it more because it is so effective, and it's high cal rounds. Yes, that works, but I think for me it's the aim assist. Like, I mean, really, like, I'm shooting it, pre-firing a corner, don't get any hits, and then like I've got Foe Tracer on my Hunter, and then I can see the little dot running away, and then they're dead because the bullets followed them around the corner, and it's like,
I will say that I think Mida fits better into this game, and that's giving it a nice boost right now. I think it feels good in this game, and there's a reason it feels good. because it was always like an outlier, hugely popular in D1. Don't get me wrong, people destroyed with it, but like it was an outlier of a gun, and now it sort of fits into the concepts of Destiny 2 really well, which is like, I don't know, cool, but at the same time, everyone loves it. It's very popular.
98% usage last weekend in Trials. I think,
pretty...
that's quite high, isn't it?
It's
map
up there
specific
again right now.
It's high.
Yeah.
Hey,
Again, I would like to see what the numbers are after a different
small map.
that might
map
only
on Trials. That might
98% usage might only mean that 12% of players are using it. If you just consider that it's just in the match, I know it's not that's not what it is, but I'm saying there's 8 players, so it's only if one of them was using it. So that'd still be pretty high if 12% of players were all using the mind up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do
And I
need a
mean-
small map, man.
God damn, it doesn't mean that you're gonna fucking guaranteed stop. I've been doing carries all weekend with my boy Fun Police. Fucking, we go up against teams of all 4 people with Mida. You know what happens? Catch these hands, baby. Catch them.
Lovely. Oh,
All right, I didn't get to talk about the raid at all
Oh yay!
last week.
do it.
And I've been through it 2.5 times now, and it's real bonkers. I don't know if you guys noticed, but this raid is super weird
It's weird. Yeah.
in terms of the settings and everything that happens and the things you do. I'm like
love this
I think
raid.
halfway through the first run, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Everything's just insane. But what do you guys? I didn't get to hear your thoughts either. What do you think about the raid?
I love
I
it.
just
Moon go.
Okay. I was just going to say, I like how it's exactly the opposite of what you would expect from a Cabal raid. And I know we talked about this last week, but
Yeah.
it's the set. It's just like, it's
You.
nothing like what I would have thought it would be. So that's what I really enjoy about it, honestly.
You didn't
Moon, I was-
immediately expect
I was-
golden Romans everywhere. Like, what are you talking about?
Quick aside, Callus is my spirit animal. But then going back to what Moon was saying, I was talking with some friends about how they felt about the raid. This one friend of mine, she goes, well, I mean, like, I was expecting something different from a Cabal raid. I was expecting, like, big, tough enemies and, you know, heavy bosses
Tanks.
and, like, waves and tanks.
Industrial, military, like.
And I was like, but we've done all that. Like, every
Yeah.
raid that we've ever had is like, oh, here's the mini boss. It's a bullet sponge. A couple damage rounds, blah, blah. Here's another boss. Oh, guess what? It's another bullet sponge, yada, yada. So I wasn't expecting this from a Cabal raid, which part of it was like, that's kind of weird. But at the same time, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Like, you go into the pleasure gardens or whatever it's called, and you're in there and you're like, what are we doing here? Like, what? There's no,
are we?
what? Yeah, what is this?
Yeah, they really subverted expectations, I think, by having like the most industrial, fucking bland, gray warriors then be the most decadent raid like ever, where it just feels
Yeah.
like the entire thing was done by hedonism bot from Futurama or something. Like, it's just ridiculous.
I love that comparison.
That's so good.
It's so good.
Oh, what a wonderful raid experience.
There is some very interesting things about the lore behind this raid compared to other raids as well, which is great because it stands out. I mean, Crota and Oryx were very much in the story, you know? Like, you saw him once in the campaign, now go kill that boss. That's your final mission. Vault of Glass kind of stands out as a super weird side plot, which I love. And then you had Wrath, which is again like, all right, you controlled Siva, go finish it off. This one is like, it's weird. So I keep thinking about it, and it's so weird. But this is like really coming from this sort of deep space place in the world of Destiny. We all know that everyone wants to come to the Traveler, so everyone's coming to Earth, and it all makes sense why they're here. But this is like, this thing took the longest to get here. This is some weird stuff that's way, way out there in space. And it's how that works, where you can say like, wait, the Cabal do this? It's because that's happening so far away. And there's some really interesting lore with, I mean, have you guys read any of the gear at all?
I have, and I just want to add real quick to Bones' point where he said this is the most interesting lore-wise. I don't know if that's true, because this is the first one where I give a shit about the lore, because the lore's in the game, and I love it, and I can read the lore, so I'm A+ on lore in Destiny 2, but go on, Bones.
It is really great to have it right there. it both ties into our main story with there's stuff to learn about Gaul. He was this like albino misfit that like no one thought was good, and he kind of mentions that in his little monologuing moments. But like, so there's this thing where Callus says that Gaul would go into the arena and he would kill enemies, like Cabal enemies, and when they like fight each other, that were like 3 times his weight. So like look at Gaul and then look at something like 3 times the size, and Gaul would like kill him because he was just like clever and strategic and stuff. And Callus was just like, we're wasting your talents in the arena. Here's the Red Legion. Like he was gifted the Red Legion essentially.
Really?
That's really interesting.
I didn't know that.
He was
Cool.
basically promoted. He was like Primus. And then
Tell me more,
eventually
Bones.
became Dominus. I haven't read it all, but then you got to think about that. Like Gaul was this like great soldier that eventually got promoted, and so he's now a general or something like that. And she's got Callus, who is again just the emperor. He's like so many ranks higher, so much more power involved. And then Callus's whole thing is if you listen to him when you die, or when he dies, at the very end, and his robot is talking, spoilers, sorry. He's basically saying like, there is some shit you've never seen. I want you to be able to beat my robot form. This was good. You know, like this is like important to him that the Guardians can do this. It's not his challenge to say like, I'm stronger than you and I will thwart you. It's like, you better be able to handle this because there's some stuff that you're not even ready for at all. And he's saying, do this, prove yourself here. Take some gear. He's literally giving us stuff. Like it's from Callus. It's not like, oh yeah, we found it in the raid. There's
right.
It's like it's him saying like, you guys need this because there's some big stuff out there. So I think just the scope that puts onto it is so insane. And there's like, I don't know, it just like melts your brain when you try to think of it in that scale because we've been limited to our solar system, which is still huge.
Yeah. I really want to like, I'm so on Team Callus because I'm just like, what is out there, man? Like, you sound kind of like a cool dude. I want to grow fat from strength the way he's telling me that I can, and like
He's wacky.
he is wacky.
I kind of want to go like, you wouldn't go fight like you if we ever got there, if he comes back or if we meet him in person, you know, like the reaction would not to just be like, there he is, let's all shoot him. Like we just
no,
like
I wanna
you'd be
talk to
too
him.
curious. You'd be too like, you know,
curious.
there'd be this great dialogue between you and the character. You probably wouldn't even pull your gun out and stuff. There's so much going on there.
He's a cool guy. Cool guy.
But yeah, guys, shoot some lasers at dogs in the meantime. What a raid.
Can I ask a question that's very tangentially related to this? Very
Yes.
tangentially related to this. But it's been bothering me all week. I've been thinking about it. In Destiny, the more powerful enemies are always bigger. And I get why that's the case for the Fallen, because like they have ether. And the Hive and the Taken, I can just explain it away as magic. And Vex, you build a bigger one. Why does it happen with the Cabal? What the fuck? Like, are they just bigger? They're just born. This one was just born like 6 times bigger. What the fuck?
Well, shit, Mega, look at human beings. We have human beings ranging from height in like 4 foot tall to 7 feet tall.
but there's
100
not
pounds,
there's
300
not
pounds.
that many people that are like the average for the Cabal seems to be pretty big. There's not ones that are like that many that grow to be like 6 times the size of the average person.
Yeah.
But you have anomalies, genetic anomalies.
All right.
This is Darwin in action, my friend.
Yeah,
I
but
think
in
right now.
proportion, Mega's got a point. I mean, you don't have a young born baby that's the size of a fully grown hippopotamus. That hasn't happened yet. I think in
hope
relation
not.
of sizes, I think that's probably where he's at. I get you.
Yeah, it's been driving me because they all grow to like, you know, relatively the same size. Like a big Vex is basically the same size as a big Fallen, and I just want to know what is this magical thing that makes the Cabal be big too?
Well, I always
wonder-
thought the Cabal, they just look big. It's the armor that's round, but take the
there we
armor
go.
away, and it's just like one big head and a tiny little skinny
That's
body.
actually
you know.
that's my personal theory on Gaul because his proportions are weird compared to other Cabal. He's like got human proportions. The rest are really like fat, plump. He's like svelte and like weird looking. I like to think he's a little tiny person in a robot suit the whole time.
There was a really good question on stream when I was streaming the story missions for the first time on the PD Twitch. Like I did a lost sector, like I went into this tiny little cave and squeezed out through a hole, and then there's this area where there's loads of Cabal. Straight away in the chat, there was like, "How did Cabal get down here? That hole's too small." It's like, you know what? He's got a point.
Shit
Their
doesn't
suits went, and they all.
Yeah.
And
So
as soon as they got
Cabal
through-
are entirely those SpongeBob inflatable jerk arms. That's the whole thing. They just blow up the suit when they get inside.
What a reference. Good Lord.
I bet there's I think we know there's some Sparta stuff going on, and like Galt kind of says as much, right? Like because he was born a runt and like kind of weird, that they were just like, get out of here, you know, and they keep the ones that prove to be already physically dominant, even if they're not trained or anything like that. So that we know there's a little bit of like unnatural selection going on. And then I bet, like, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to think like the Cabal are a warring race, so they've also got like steroids, like to put it in a stupid term, but like, you know, they're all on like HGH, right? Like,
Yeah, obviously.
Like, what are the Cabal eating?
CGH.
They're all just like
CGH, yeah.
they're-
I mean, they have to have some sort of
CGH.
supplements, right? Because the console, we know that Callus removed his male or his body parts, his male reproductive organs are gone. It says in the lore that Callus.
It does?
It's
Yeah.
lore. It's lore. All right,
It is in the
Can't-
lore.
I gotta
He
read
says-
up on
it
this.
is,
lore.
There's a part where it says like he'll never spawn offspring. I made sure of it myself. Like, so that is in there.
Yeah.
That Callus did that to the console, but he's still pretty beefy and masculine. So I'm going to assume there's some sort of supplement out there. So maybe
Yeah.
someone's just really pumping themselves full of that, and that's how you
can
get
tell
giant.
he's got that vibe of like, yeah, I might have like a high rank or I might be right next to Gaul, but like I'm not doing any fighting. Like, you know, that like weird creepy advisor body type that's like
Yes.
always something like, yeah, that guy's never held a sword, you know. See it in Lord of the Rings all the time.
Yeah,
But
Varys from Game of Thrones or whatever his name is.
yeah. He is essentially Varys. Yeah.
you can basically tell.
Oh man.
Good raid. Good raid.
Good raid. Moon, did you finish the raid yet? Did you get the?
No, I haven't. Every time my friends are raiding, I'm at work. I just work too much.
Quit your job.
That's the problem
obviously.
with video games.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, right?
That's it,
Well,
man.
I can't be like everybody else here. And no, I'm just kidding.
That's right.
But yeah, no. I
All right.
have not, unfortunately.
How far have you gotten?
The pleasure gardens and
Nice.
the bathers are the only parts that I've done so far. So,
Okay.
All right.
Okay, interesting. All right.
and I've watched the rest of it, so
Got it.
I know what happens. But
So
Yeah,
Bones
dude.
didn't spoil it for you with the
no.
All right.
Okay, good.
It's not.
Fine.
The raid's not so difficult, which I don't care about. I've never wanted a raid to be like excruciating. It's the reason I don't do King's Fall too many times after completing it. But it's kind of cool to remember the first time you do it, where I'm like, this part was we spent like 3 hours in the pleasure gardens, you know, and then to go in there and like one phase it.
Yeah. Next time
confidently
you're
is
just like,
oh,
these
cool.
dogs are fucking toast. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, I don't mind getting some loot in an hour or so when I have the time to do a raid. If it takes longer than that, I'm gonna say, you know what, I'll just do 10 matches of quick play. So I like when a raid is completable in an evening after work.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I'm
Yeah,
down
I
with it.
think that's probably the negative criticism about it at the moment. Like, we did want a raid that was more layered. We wanted something that was different to shooting boss fights. We have that now with like puzzles that we're solving. The first time around, it was like a really adventurous and very kind of layered experience. Second time around, you have like the techniques, you know, the strats, so you get to put those into practice. Third time around, you're doing things very kind of tightly and very mechanically, but loot is still like a bit of an issue. Like, it is very rare that you get a drop from completing the segments of the raid. However, grabbing these keys to go back into the underbelly of the Leviathan to pick up tokens, that's where if you're going to farm loot, or if you want your chance at getting a loot, and to be fair, you do get quite a lot. After you picked up tokens on all 3 characters and then you go and cash them in, you will get several pieces of armor and a couple weapons and stuff like that. But it's an extra time. You have to go back into the raid, and in certain areas to unlock the doors that open the chests and stuff, you will need a couple people with you. Some people have soloed this if their timing is perfect and they have the right kind of gear and they're tremendously skilled. But you have to go back in there.
6-shot golden gun and get those freaking turrets dead, baby.
Yeah.
So finally a use for the 6-shot. I don't think I'm going to on my PlayStation account. I think I'm just gonna unlock everything else. Yeah.
It's just blinking up there. Like, I want to complete it, and I'm just like, I just want to select that perk. But I used it in trials, and I was like, no.
Nope, it's kind of like the Slova bomb, right? Like, just don't unlock slow Nova bomb on that.
It's so bad.
Are you kidding me? You guys all need to go watch some real crafty right now, man. That Slova bomb is one of the best things ever right now.
I'll probably be as effective as Crafty with it. You're right.
No, you don't have to be skilled, like to have fun with that thing. Like, and it is so good. Like for tactical, application rather. It is really, really good because that thing you can push it across the map and then it just tracks and then it will keep on hunting until someone is dead. And then there's the mini mover bombs that come off it that will almost guarantee you a kill. It's so good.
It's fair. I don't actually have a warlock, so it's really irrelevant to me.
For me. Yeah, it's never going to be a question for me anyway, because I'm never going to switch off the bottom tree of the Voidwalker, ever.
Fallout, don't say never.
Devour
as
is too
soon
good.
as Bungie buffs the top tree to be better than the Devour build, Fallout will switch. Let's be fair. He's never going to switch until
So they're not going to nerf the bottom tree? They're going to buff the top tree? Because you're kind of getting me a little excited right now.
All right. I'm just saying, Fallout can't say he'll never. Fallout can't say that he'll be 100% committed to anything because he's committed to what's best.
Very true.
So whenever something else,
I go where the wind blows, baby.
Exactly.
I'm just over here maining Dawnblade like nobody else in the game.
That was everyone. Everyone was like sure they were going to main Dawnblade before the game came out. It seemed like. Yeah.
Voidwalker's where it's at. I've had too much fun. Blink is just too good. I hope there's no nerfs, man. I'm like, there's like, I don't know. The only thing that I'd ever like to see gone is just high cal, because then it would open up this massive variety of weapons and this much more interesting balancing kind of landscape that we have. It would just like make that shine through a lot more because high cal is such an obvious choice. However, I'm not looking forward to the first balancing patch at all because things are gonna, I don't know, I just doubt things are gonna be better from it. You remember how everyone was like, year one, Destiny PvP, it was so amazing. And then the first patch came and it all changed. I'm like dreading that. I like things the way they are right now, to be honest, after getting acclimatizing, It's like there's all this talk of, the time to kill needs to be increased. And it's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? The time to kill needs to be increased? What are you smoking? And don't want any of it. Put it away and bury it under the ocean. Fuck's sake. Like, in COD, I've seen this. Like, in COD.
That's the best start, is when it's like, there's so many ways you just shouldn't start a sentence with in Call of Duty.
Exactly.
In Call of Duty.
In Call of Duty, we have this. Oh my God. I'm like, no, please let a game be original and adapt to the game that we have now, please. It's good.
Yes.
PvP is good. PvP is in a really good spot right now. It's just different. Let's embrace the difference and play the game because it's fun. I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it.
I do like it.
It's good. And, this team-based thing, I'm liking it. But there's one area of criticism that I kind of agree with quite like heartfully here is that we've got this competitive playlist and quick play playlist, and there is so much that can be done in the competitive scene. I think this, as we have it now, the team-based thing, the Destiny competitive scene has really got a much better shot than what we had in Destiny 1.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
that's going to need some attitude adjustments on the development side of things in order to embrace it, because there's still the underlying like big push of it being a social looter shooter and anti like Overwatch style competitive, CSGO style competitive. I'm not sure if that's the direction that Bungie really want to take that, and you can tell. But I'm thinking if they just embrace that a little bit without having to change things too much, you know, that would be nice and healthy for a lot of people. It'd cover a lot of bases. What do you reckon?
I agree with you. That was a good speech. You got like you switched accents. You were so into that, which made me believe you the most.
It's this tea, man. There's
so
something
passionate
in this
about
tea.
it.
Something in there, yeah. Something in there.
Yeah, no, I agree that it has a better shot now than ever. I think there's so much like little bits of chaos in D1. Not that I disliked D1. I played every day, but like just moments where you're just like, what, how, and that doesn't happen as much. There's still plenty of times where someone doesn't quite know how they died, or just a grenade hits you on an angle you didn't expect. But that's how you die. Otherwise, no one would die. I think there's so many opportunities for good play. I want to see really competitive teams go up against each other once we get customs back. I want to see competitives try to use exotics because exotic gear is really fun now, and there's no instant choice. There's no Twilight Garrison. There's no I don't know what are some of the worst ones. There's no Lucky Raspberry that's so obnoxious. There's like cool reasons to use everything. I'm so
Void Fang vestments.
I'm so torn whenever I put my Warlock on, where I'm just like, I want to use Sunbracers or that weird helmet. You know, there's so much to do, and I want to see. Man, I could watch some esports with that Trials intro, and have guys talk about the loadouts when they go in, you know, and then you know this will be down the road. There'll be different metas and all that sort of thing. But just imagine the hype when you see like. It's like showing BSK and you got Lumi and you know exactly what kind of guns he likes to use and what exotic that he uses well, you know, like that's so cool. And then you have those like players that have that identity. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier, and what I know was a goal is that the guns have identities. So when you see, you know, if M-Tashed puts on an old fashioned, you know what kind of play style he's hoping to achieve there. You know his style. It's not just everyone has that because it's good. That's his thing. And I'm just like awaiting the day where we can all just do that. That intro. I know it's long, but it has a lot of potential. It's pretty good. We just need more emotes in the rotation.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, yes please,
And delete that one with the stupid side to side dance from that like meme kid.
Yeah.
That's the best one. What are you talking about?
Oh no, I disagree.
See, the intro's long, but I just tell people it's because they cut out the time of having to go to the reef and buy a card all the time. So you just add that all back in, sliced into little segments for the intro. It's the same amount of time.
Also, boy, did I not like inspecting everyone and waiting for their Guardian to load so I could see what gear they use. And then forgetting who I just inspected on the roster list and then going into the guy. Oh, no, I looked at him already.
It's too annoying.
And I didn't like
calling it out to the rest of your team.
Yeah, I didn't like pretending to listen to my teammates who were calling that out. So now they just assume that I'm paying attention. So I can just sit and sing in my head to myself.
It's too real.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I get why it's there, but I would sometimes I'm just like, I want to play. This is too good. I want to play. Skip all this dancing shit away.
I think they could get rid
They
of
should
it
have
on.
like a system to vote.
They could get rid of it on your team. Like, I don't need to see my team every single time.
I know who I'm
that
playing
part
with.
I'm
Just
fine.
show me them. Just show
But
me them.
I enjoy seeing the enemy team and knowing who I'm about to roll over. You know, every match. That's what I like to see. You know, I never lose. Undefeated in trials, clearly. Yeah. It's not because I just play with Fallout, Cammy, and Shake. There's no real reason behind why I just win every game.
I went up against Lil Big Oki in trials today, and there was 4 cold hearts, and we put up 1 round on him. It was rough. And I was just like, rough time. They just like bunched up. I would kept telling my team, I'm like, they're in the hallway, and you would just see those like this like laser show coming out, and we'd all just scatter.
Lovely.
It was pretty great.
Absolutely lovely.
I don't know what class to play now. Like I've played them all now. I played more Titan than I've ever played ever. Like Striker Titan is so good.
Striker Titan's very good.
They've got some fantastic exotics as well. Like I've never really enjoyed Titan play as much as I have at this point in time, and I'm a filthy Warlock main. You know, like Void Walker is just amazing. Hunters, I'm like, it's the movement, man. The movement just makes everything just. It's so different to the other classes. Like I've been playing a lot of Night Stalker and really enjoying that.
Night Stalker is. I feel like the invis is a lot better now because you lose the auto aim on it like completely when someone invises, and I don't know how that's going to work on PC. But
auto aim, you don't want it anyway. Like,
exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying though. Is I don't know how it's going to going to make Night Stalker less effective then, because you already don't have auto aim. That's a thing that is a utility on console that I don't know how that'll be on PC.
It just depends on how obvious it is. Like in all the games that we've had in the past where there was invisibility, like Crisis was a really good one where players could go invisible, but they were so easily seen. You know, like put the invis on, you die. So I get what you mean there. Like it may be completely ineffective.
But there's something seriously cool about how it procs immediately though, because the difference between like standing one place, crouching, and then waiting, and going, and you hear that like you know, and then it's just like, all right, well now I'll go. I love the flow of it now to just like be in a thing, get to cover, roll, be invis. Now you have this like awesome approach move so you can escape really well. Night Stalker's that invis roll is awesome.
Even cool. Like I was playing earlier today, and if you like, you throw on the invis roll and then you like switch to Quick Fang just to get out of there, like when you know you're gonna die, like in a bad situation, because you get the run speed. Away. Yeah, like I was playing, like I was down to like a 1v3 in survival, and I ended up like winning it just because I just freaking went invis and ran across the map with my Quick Fang and grabbed the power ammo before they could get to me and managed to kill them all. Did
your Naruto run?
Yes, I did the weird kid running in the hallways in school. It's the best. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I thought I hated Night Stalker at first. Like when I first played it, I was like, ugh, what is good about this? And now I'm like, okay, I really like it. I don't know.
Really
going up against. Oh, sorry. Before that go.
I was just gonna say, I thought the coolest thing about Night Stalker is that ability where they throw the snare trap smoke bomb and it shows up on the radar. And like I haven't even leveled up my Night Stalker yet, so it's not like I'm abusing that. And I'm like, oh, it's awesome. It's like, well, wait until you play against it, Fallout.
Yeah.
I've only played against it, and I think it's really cool that they have that kind of trick in their utility belt. I think it's really neat.
I've done that one running away too. I'll like run and I'll throw the smoke bomb the other way and just fucking run to like throw them off.
Yeah, leave it on the ground and then leave. So they're like, he's right there. He's around the corner. It's just like, no. I'm on. I left.
It's just like cardboard cutout with like a sign standing there when they go around the corner. Bye.
You can't tell until you walk nice and like horizontal to it. Like, wait, it's right here.
Hey, wait a minute. I've been had.
I like it. I like it.
I like it.
I did have a round where I was playing with Swain, and we had just talked about that. Like, I think it was the moment all of us learned about that perk, and someone said, hey, just FYI, the smoke shows up on radar, so it looks like a person. We're like, oh, cool. That's a cool trick. All right, we'll keep an eye out. Next round, one guy on point. We push it, collapse. Swain gets there, and then Swain gets the kill, and he goes, oh, there's someone else. We're just like, no. It's just a smoke sitting there on the ground.
So
and
funny.
It is. Fully fell for it. And then we were all like, oh, no, just kidding. I mean, I knew there wasn't. I got the kill.
JK.
Just walking around this wall just to make sure, guys. Just constantly doing circles around this pillar like, what the fuck
I just thought
is
you would
this guy?
defuse. I knew you were right there, so. Yeah.
Well then, we are approaching the time when we'd either talk about something else or talk about something else or open up for questions.
Well, we have one thing we should probably mention, which is the faction rally does start, and we know what it is.
On Tuesday,
right?
Oh,
yeah. We didn't know what it was before, right? Our last podcast, so now we know all the details about it, which is that you pledge Dead Orbit, and that's the only way you're ever going to get your gun cheaper because you know Dead Orbit's going to win, obviously, and then there you go.
Or if you're not a coward loser, you can pledge a different faction.
I'm playing to win
Brave
Fallout,
Guardians.
and Dead Orbit plays to win. They want to survive, and they're using their ship that
technically true, but, like,
that they've amassed.
We just heard Mega tell us all about how he's so good at running away in PvP.
Yes,
Of course he's going to.
exactly.
It's a valid strategy.
I want to live. And when everybody else was fleeing the city, and there was only one faction that had a fleet of ships, I wonder whose they used. I'm just curious.
Oh
Didn't a
my
bunch of people die when they
God.
tried to leave?
The
Didn't,
one-
like,
the ones who
reef
didn't-
happened.
I don't know what you're talking about. All I know is I saw a couple New Monarchy losers in their sleeping bags on the first mission. All right. That's
Wow.
all I really-
Dude, I put out a tweet. I was like, because I wanted to read into the lore of all the factions, and I don't think any of the factions in the game are perfect. They're all flawed in one way or another. But like, there's just something about Dead Orbit that I was just like, especially when they're like, oh, they don't like believe in the Traveler. I was like, what do you mean you don't believe in the Traveler? Fuck you. They gave us all this cool shit to play. Here's
didn't
Destiny 2
believe-
campaign if you pledge Dead Orbit. Okay, the
I mean,
Red
we,
Legion
like,
invades
know
the
that
city.
the Traveler,
Later, and you
wait.
fly the Pluto, and that's and then the credits roll. That's the campaign for D2 if you pledge Dead Orbit.
It's not that
Yeah,
they
but
don't
Black
believe
Shaders fall
that
out,
it
Black
gives you
Shaders.
power.
Shaders,
All right? I
right?
think we all agree the Traveler gives you power, but is it as altruistic and fucking in our favor of a force as it seems when it's abandoned all these other civilizations like the Fallen, and it
That's
tried
true,
to
that shit,
abandon
Black
us
Shaders.
to begin with? All I'm saying.
Wow.
Hey, when we
Blasphemy
were
right
attacked
now.
by hive gods, multiple hive gods.
And you mean when the
what
Traveler
was the
tried to
winning
leave
strategy?
and
Bitching out or
Rasputin?
fighting like a bunch of goddamn hero legends?
All right.
Which one?
Mega, that's
Answer
only
in
a
the chat.
theory. We don't know he kept it here. We don't know
We don't
if
know.
Rasputin did
Yeah,
that.
right. We
That's
know.
a theory.
We know.
I love the way
All
that we
right.
can talk politics.
Mega.
We can talk
Dangerous
politics.
territory.
Yeah, we can talk politics about PvP and there's not like a single heated voice, but then you talk about factions and it's like,
I love that Bungie has us all arguing on Twitter about made up politics.
God,
Oh
my
I
God.
was so down with New Monarchy up until like the final bullet point where it was just like they're like, yeah, we want to like bring back the golden age. I was like, yeah, it's cool. They're like, yeah, we want to protect the city. I was like, yeah, it's fucking awesome. And they're like going on this list, like, yeah, we like that, and also we want to take all the political power in the world and just give it to one guy. I was like, what? The fuck are you saying?
Called New Monarchy. I mean, it's in the name.
And Future War Cult, I like them too. I think they're cool and they're brave and valiant. It's also like, oh, by the way, we have this weird machine that if you touch it, you go insane. What the fuck did you just say? It's like, yeah, you want to see the future, man? Come touch this machine.
I can't join a faction that doesn't believe in the possibility of peace, and Future War Cult just seems to only believe that war is all that there can be. It's inevitable, and
But
I'm
it
not down
sounds
with
like they
that.
don't go looking for war though. They're preparing.
They just know it's coming.
for war.
They don't
It's
leave.
a defense. They're not like going out and like
They see
slapping the milk, like the lunch tray out of some hive's hand and be like, "Oh, what's up, kid? Your chocolate milk on the ground." It's like, they're preparing. They're stockpiling for a fight. I don't know. It's all weird, but
I don't want to play. The thing is, I don't like any of them. I just
not
want
really.
the good gear and
Yeah.
good shaders. That's
want
the
good
stuff. And here's my question though: can you say have a Titan on Dead Orbit, a Hunter on New Monarchy, and a Warlock on Future War Cults, or is
Sounds
this
like you
a
can,
count?
so nothing matters.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can if you're non-committal asshole and you're not going to really dig your heels in deep, all right, and stand
I'm
for
an asshole,
something.
and I'm proud of it.
digging
I'm starting
my
a new
heels in.
faction. New faction.
Story over here is like, I'm Seven Seraphs. Screw you guys.
Yeah. Oh God, where's Seven Seraphs? I was excited for the possibility of that, but
Yeah, I kind of hoped they might bring in a fourth one, but we'll see.
because you know their gear would be cool.
I absolutely hope that they bring in
Yeah.
a fourth one, because then you can't do that where you play the odds all in your favor. I want people to have to make a
Exactly.
choice. Like,
Make a choice.
yeah.
Come on now.
No, that would actually be a good. I agree. Bringing in a fourth faction would be good. DLC wise, or
Maybe
whatever
one
for
that
the
isn't
future.
like. I mean, they all have to be flawed. That's like the
They all have to be
point, I
flawed.
guess.
So what's the flaw?
Yeah.
that's-
What do
we
you do
believe
for
in
this
truth and justice and protecting the innocent, and also we fucking hate chocolate. So it's like, you're like,
All our
"God damn
shaders
it."
are bright orange for starters. Have a really ugly shader, but there we go.
They just don't celebrate holidays. That's their thing.
They don't eat food.
Christmas.
Can I get the day off? It's Christmas. No, not if you're part of this faction,
not
buddy.
this faction. Yeah. Overtime all day.
Yeah. If you pledge that faction, the Festival of the Lost and the Dawning just doesn't install for you. Like,
Oh no.
you're at the tower and you just do the Travolta emote where you're just like, and everyone else is getting the gear and you just never see
classic.
it. But you get like a nice discount with Glimmer at their
There you go.
vendor. So
There you go.
That's nice, I guess.
Has anyone got any glimmer at the moment? Have you got any more of that glimmer? Have you really?
I
you're
keep
running low again.
I keep tapping out on mods. I keep like feeling like I have so much. It's fine. I'll just buy myself down to like 15,000 glimmer. That'll be enough. And then nope,
be good.
I keep going.
Gone. Yeah, trying to get those ultimate mods for like getting good loadouts. I like the mod system. I like the fact that it's like a lot more detailed. I think they could really elaborate on it in the future as well. But like, god damn, there's so many I want for certain things to try certain things out, and I can't obtain them. Not just because of the glimmer situation, but because they're really rare mods. Like they're very difficult to get, and so even if you are spending money on blue ones to stockpile to trade in, or if you're like deleting your legendary ones to get the mod components to have an RNG role at getting the stuff that you want, they are just so rare. It's so difficult to get that stuff. So I'm constantly broke because of that at the minute. Farming glimmer.
I need them free Void Paragon mods for my Night Stalker so I can invis roll all the time. That's what I want. I want it so badly.
I want to ask Fallout, for your Void Walker, what kind of mods are you looking at the moment? Like, what are you hunting for, or have you already got them?
I'm done. I have the Eye of Another World helmet, and I got for the mods for the other gear. It's just one for the melee. You got one for the grenade, one for the rift. I got one for boosted recovery because I roll in with 10 recovery.
Same.
My whole goal with the Warlock is making it as difficult as possible to kill me. So 10 recovery, you got Devour, I have a heal rift. If you try to fight me, you're gonna have a bad time, alright? I'm just letting you know right now. That's the plan.
Nice. I mean, I've been experimented with the kinetic reloads and like things like that. So like for a Better Devils with a kinetic reload, the reload is good. Like that's
really good combo.
It's hard to like pass up the extra ability or the extra recovery for that, man. But yeah, it's tough. I'm gonna have different armor again. I'm gonna have different armor sets for changing things around. But I only just managed 10 recovery yesterday with a chest piece that I got.
Nice.
So I'm gonna try that out on Voidwalker now.
Meanwhile, over here on Hunter, I'm like, can I get to 4? Maybe recovery? Yeah, you're like fucking scrimping just to get
if you want recovery.
Dude,
on
it doesn't
Hunter,
help.
aren't you?
I was watching Ramblin' stream, and there's a pair of boots that say they're survivalist legs, that they boost recovery. They have 0 recovery on them anywhere. Like, they're glitched.
Yeah.
Like
Hunter gear is
sucks.
weird.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking for anything to get that little bit of recovery. I just want to hit 4. I'm stuck at 3 always. It fucking drives me
I was
crazy.
about to like use a different exotic on my Hunter, and I like flipped some gear around to make it work. And then I was at like 10 mobility at like 2 and 1. And I was like,
Oh my god.
no, I can't. I refuse.
That strafe though, 10 mobility, you're gonna be like a flash at 30 FPS trying to be shot at, man. You'll probably be invincible with that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're fine. Just
People peek in trials with Mida, and I'm like right there in the scope. They just like pop up.
God damn it. Okay, well, is it time for questions, ladies and gents?
Yeah, let's take some.
Let's take some. Or can I just go to bed? It'd be nice.
I'm ready for questions.
You just want to go to bed?
Dark Samir says, I have a solution. We should nerf recovery. Yeah.
No.
That's great. I like that.
I don't know if I agree with the thing that recovery is the only thing that's important of the 3 that was said in chat. I don't know if
I don't think it's the only important thing.
I don't
I think
think
it's
it-
probably, for me,
it's very important.
man.
Yes.
Yeah, for me, it's the most important
The
thing.
only
for me.
important? I don't know about that. If I'm running 0 resilience, I'll be fine. So you're telling me?
Here's a
Aw.
perfect segue opportunity and a plug opportunity. If you're a little bit confused about mobility, resilience, and recovery, there's a certain video floating around the internet that could actually help you all with the questions that you may have. Fallout, perhaps, maybe where would we see such a video?
Yeah, you could check that out on my YouTube channel. That video did really, really well. That helped push me over 50,000 YouTube subs. Yay! Excited about that. Yeah, check that out.
Yeah, just go to www.gamerant.com. You'll find it there.
Yeah, they posted it there. It was just pretty cool. But yeah, check it out. I did a study on mobility.
Sounds like it's a fucking university.
I did my PhD. Yeah, I did my PhD, my senior thesis on mobility, resilience, and recovery. And it just shows you all the important reasons why you should concentrate on one or the other. And it was pretty well received. A lot of people really enjoyed that video, so go check it out.
Appreciate the work that you put in for it, man.
Good job,
really
Fallout.
Thank you.
We love your videos. Sub to him if you don't. You're an idiot if you don't. But I got a question for us finally. What's your favorite non-exotic kinetic?
I got that. Yeah.
Non-exotic kinetic.
I really
Origin story.
Ooh,
There's a bunch. There's a bunch, man, at the minute that the Scavelock I'm really liking. It's
Love Scavelock.
Map specific. If you long range, having a long range maps, it kind of lets you down. But if you want a close quarters, it's got high cal on it, so and it's very, very precise. Better Devils, if the map's small enough for it, love it to pieces. Prefer that as the HC. On Nameless Midnight, explosive rounds. Holy shit, that's another fantastic one. Yeah, I think those are the top 3 at the moment. That's all that I've gravitated towards, but this could change.
I like the Adjudicator. That's the Trials SMG kinetic.
Just got
that's
that.
a good
this
one.
weekend.
Yeah, very good. And isn't there that other one? I can never remember the name of it.
Antiope.
Yeah, that's the one that you.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Bones.
I love Better Devils quite a bit. I use it in the raid. But Antiope, whatever.
Anti-M.
Fallout.
I base this information on no knowledge whatsoever. It's
Get the Trials one if you don't have Antiope or Antiope to drop. Get the Trials one, and it's pretty easy to get Trials gear if you put a few wins on your ticket. But there's something about those SMGs. The slower rate of fire ones are awesome, and Antiope has kill clip, so melt someone down, reload that next guy who comes around the corner, just like focus in on those headshots, and it's like half a second on the time to kill. Like it's nasty. It's I mean, people always ask like, oh, you can't even make big plays in this game. Like, find a gun that gives you kill clip like that and mess people up. I've had a lot of final stands with
Bones,
that.
I
It's
hear
really
everybody
nice.
talking about that gun, and I'm like, oh god, I just want one so badly. I
They're
still
rare,
don't have
man.
one.
I'm gonna just start
really
grinding
rare.
for that. Yeah, now that I'm hearing everyone talk about it.
I haven't had a single one of those things drop yet. Yeah.
What about
Everyone
you,
says,
Moon?
yeah, carry on.
Just Better Devils.
Better Devil.
Nice.
That's it. That's all I have to say.
That's a fun gun. That's a good one.
All right. I got another question. We're gonna start with Moon, which is favorite strikes, if you have one yet.
I can't remember the name of it, but I really like the one where you fight the giant shrieker at the end and
Yes.
there's guardians being sucked into crystals, and I love that one.
Is it
I really like
Sabathun's
Titan
song?
as a planet. So
Yeah.
Which is the
Yeah.
only one I've never gotten still. So
What?
Played it.
I haven't
haven't
gotten
gotten
that
it.
one either. Yeah.
yeah.
That is the darkest Bungie's ever gone with Destiny. Like the actual story on that strike.
Damn it.
I was like my fire. I've said this before on the show, on shows, some podcasts, but like my whole fire team was like really quiet when we played it, because afterwards you're just like, that was messed up. Like it's just
holy shit, it's people. Like
Yeah, it kind of like shakes you for a little. You're just like, you go play Crucible. Like
really
it's
heavy.
really dark. I don't want to like
Yeah.
totally reveal it, but it's a good strike. It was.
I really
want
want to get it.
Awesome.
I'm gonna have to just play strikes, I guess, and hope I can
Yeah.
finally.
Jeez.
Yeah, it'll come up. There's not too many.
That's true. There's like
There's a
6.
finite number of
Yeah,
strikes.
I know. I've just been really
do-
unlucky. I just end up getting the 2 on, or I get the Nessus ones like every time I play.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun, like kind of not jumping puzzles, but like it's just fun to like adventure through some of them. Like I think it's the PlayStation exclusive, but the Taken in the EDZ is so fun. Just kind of maneuvering, and I put the Phoenix Dive on Dawnblade. So anytime one of those things like launches me, I just drop straight back down.
Oh, that's
and I have this
Clever.
like hard counter to it. So I've like saved myself from flying off. It's really fun. And then the one in IO with all of the moving.
Dude, the
beams of
Pyramidion.
light.
That's my favorite one. I was gonna say that is the
That's
most
so
like
nuts.
that's the most like NES style strike for me because it's just dodging these lasers that are moving. Like, this is Mega Man. I can do this. My first time playing that one, I was so fucking happy. Like that one.
Yeah, you're like visualizing the route before you
exactly.
run.
Yes.
Got it. Phoenix dive through that, you feel like a badass.
Oh my god, that would be so cool.
It's awesome.
That's I gotta level up a Warlock just for Phoenix Dive and for the Spirit Orbs or whatever they're called because those are such
The Arc
cool,
Souls.
unique things. Yes, Arc Souls. They're not Spirit Bombs like I like to imagine. You're
Close
right.
enough.
Yeah.
Chosen Spartan, what is the one exotic that has eluded you so far? Lots of them. It's like I have lots of friends I've seen on Twitter. I've seen the streamers that I follow. They have everything. They've been playing the game for hundreds of hours and they have everything. I've been playing the game for just as long and I don't have everything at all. Like,
That's because
so
Bungie hates you, Story. Just
they do.
get it, all right? They hate you.
Stumpies for Hunter. I want that.
I have
They're so
those.
good.
They're
Want
fun.
those.
Yeah, they're fun.
I want Skyburner's Oath, for example.
I
Is
don't
it
have
the,
that.
the Winter's Guile for Warlocks?
Yeah, that's the one I want. But I can't.
Transversive Steps for Warlocks. I'd love that as well. The Transversive Steps this time around are fire for Warlocks. Like, seriously. So loads. That's me. Done. Moon.
There's some really cool ways that the exotics kind of combine perks, and it's just like, all right, so you're getting an old one, but it does something new now. Like they kind of like take two and put them together, which is awesome. Like Skull of Ahamkara basically getting Obsidian Mind is really satisfying. So it's cool to get old ones that are different.
Yeah, for
Moon,
sure.
what were you gonna? What are the ones you're looking for?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Winter's Guile and also the tractor cannon. I want that. It looks like so much fun. Even as like
that's a good one.
ridiculous as it is.
I just got the tractor cannon and it's so dumb, but it's a lot of fun when you pair it with the Syntheseps. Because I can boop them and then I can melee them from like a mile away as they're flying away. It's so fucking stupid, but I love it.
I love ridiculous guns like that though
Yes.
that just like are so impractical but they're fun. They're just fun to
Yeah.
use.
We call those cami guns.
Yes, those are cami guns. I still
we
want
call
someone
those
to make some sort of montage of letting a team almost get the defuse and then just running in and booping them off of the point and then just evading away.
Oh my god!
Run
I
away.
feel like it'd be so
Style.
much
Brilliant.
fun. Obviously, it's hard life for me, though. That's my answer to the question. Can't get it.
I want that what is it? Dragon's Wrath for Hunters.
Dragon Shadow? Something, I think?
Yeah, Dragon's Shadow, and it gives like increased handling and like readiness or something after a roll.
You get
And,
increased movement speed and handling, after a
Yeah.
roll.
That's one. I mean, and this is true for a lot of them, but that's one where it's like it's really fun to play with mods, and you kind of want to think, you know what? If I like this exotic, I want to get this other separate armor set to use with it, because in that case, you would kind of forego added armor mods, and you'd want like class ability cooldowns, so you could just like roll everywhere and really take use of that. And I love that you have a reason to like build this other set that really helps it out, as opposed to just your one sort of neutral, get a little bit of everything.
I know
one looks
that
cool.
I know that Ramblin runs that with his Night Stalker build because he gets his dodge really quickly, and then the dodge makes his reload be like at max after a dodge, so he doesn't need to run reload mods on his gear, which is really cool.
Yeah, exactly. I played a ticket with him last night, and it was just like trying to keep up with him because he's got that quick fang out and the rolls everywhere. I'm always just like, I'm helping.
Watching that clip of him dodge that golden gun.
Oh
And he had-
no,
oh my
that
God.
clip.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy's career's over. He
My
just
God.
turned off the game.
Oh, so bad.
Yeah. Oh,
We also had a
Oh, so
game
good.
with him last night where this poor Titan on the other team killed himself 3 times. One just
my
put a
God.
grenade on his own feet, blew up. But twice he killed himself with Wardcliff coil. And it was just like, oh no. And he would just like shoot it, but because it takes like there's a time for all of the projectiles to come out, he would like shoot it and then just like enter cover, and they would all just like explode right in front of him.
No.
It happened so many times. We were just like, oh no.
Pour one out in the chat for random Titan.
Don't shoot Wardcliff
rest in
coil into a
peace.
wall.
Yes. Mega, are you missing any exotics?
Only hard light that I care about, and I mean I like to have everything. So like I don't have Knucklehead Radar. I'd like that.
Don't have that either. Yeah.
And I don't think I'd use it, but I just like to have everything on my hunter. Honestly, the exotic I run the most on my hunter is just the lucky pants because of how they look more than anything. Like that's where I'm at. I'm just going for the aesthetic. I want those just the cool bullets all around me. And I like the lore on the lucky pants the most, which is the other reason I use them. Really
Aren't they just Cade's pants?
They
like
are.
isn't that the
That
story
he
behind it?
illegally
Yeah.
modified with like.
because
God.
he wanted to win in the Crucible. Against Shax, so he's talking to the computer about the rules, and he's like, "Is cheating allowed in the Crucible?" Like, absolutely not. He's like, "Is luck allowed?" And like, yes. He's like, "Are my pants lucky?" And and she's like, "No." He's like, "Oh, you're wrong. They are." And then the perk is called illegally modded holster when you do it. So it's like they're clearly not lucky. It just cracks me
Very
up.
funny.
Wait, I almost want to read this. I have it up in front of me. It's so good.
Do it, baby.
This is Cade talking to the computer, right? Like
Yeah.
this was in some other grimoire towards the end of Destiny 1, which is Shaxx
the
just
Age
like
of Triumph
Googling
one.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh yes,
So it's-
I love that one.
It's like he routinely goes to a computer and just gets frustrated with it. But it says, remote Vanguard database text only search initialized. Welcome user Ace of Hearts. Please enter search query. Beat Shaxx. Only one Guardian has defeated Lord Shaxx in the Crucible. Related. Ray I. Do you wish to see post-match results? Question. Cheat Crucible. Crucible participants are subject to a strict code of conduct. Cheaters will be banned. What about cheating like just a little? Sorry, I didn't understand what about cheating like just a little. Okay, what counts as cheating? To act dishonestly or unfairly in order to gain an advantage. Is luck cheating? Luck and cheating are not equivalent. Are my pants lucky? Probably not. Wrong, they're super lucky.
That's
Yeah, the one in
genius.
D1, he was like, "Did the Fallen have horses?" And it's just like, what?
Oh, that's funny.
Cade's search history would be like such a good topic.
Oh yes.
Oh my
We
lord.
saw that Cade has a romance novel or something in one of his chests,
yeah.
like his maps this time around. I love that there's actual story character details in the game now so much. And
Yeah.
it's funny because I feel like there were a lot of people I saw who were worried about the lore, there not being as much lore or being harder to keep track of it when it's not in Grimoire cards. But the ironic thing is like those people that make content around lore, for the first time ever, I'm seeking their content because I'm intrigued by the lore now to the point where like, well, I kind of understand this, but I want a full explanation. I'm going to go to an expert to really explain it to me. Like it's clearly all positive, all boon in my eyes. Like
It's awesome.
Yeah, we just need a way that when you scan things, you can go and access the recordings later, and I'd be like completely set with the lore in the game right now.
Can I read one more for the road?
Yes.
Yeah.
One more.
Sure.
Okay.
Can we
this
just
is,
end every
one of the-
podcast now with one lore tab reading?
One more.
New segment.
Yeah.
Dibs. I'll do it.
Boom. There
All
it
right.
is.
This is a gun you're allowed to get in the campaign, and it's a conversation. So I'll be talking to one other person. So wait, that thing you found does what? It fires black holes. No, it doesn't. Oh yeah, it does. Actually, tiny bullet-sized black holes. Did you tell the others? Only that I found some weird gun in some overgrown tunnel back on Old Chicago, and that's my ghost was all, "This is why we were led here." Yours talks that way too? What do you think? Okay, but the gun. Are you going to tell them? Yeah, definitely. When? Crucible. Oh no. Oh yes. That's just so good. That's the Graviton Lance if you couldn't
Yes.
catch on.
Yes.
Yeah. That's an interesting gun though. That like I've only just started playing about with it, but I have no idea whether it's any good or not yet. It's one of them things I've on my huge list of things to do. Find out if this is good. Find out if that's good.
It's like one of those guns where you want to use it, get a clip of the perk actually working, and then not bother. It's like how I got a ricochet kill with Sleeper Simulant, and I'm like, thanks, done. Like that's it. So
Now we can
I wanna
retire the
blow
weapon.
up the guy behind him, and then I'll be good.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Alrighty then. Well, I think it's time to wrap things up. Fallout, you can do that thing that you do so well.
All right, everybody. If you're here with us on Twitch for the live show, A, thank you for being here. We love you. And B, don't go anywhere because now is the time to give us suggestions in the Twitch chat on who you think we should raid after the show, which is something at home you can join us for next time on the show if you tune in live. Remember, the PD podcast is every Sunday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, and we would like to thank our very special guest, Moonvald, for joining us on
Thank
the
you
show
for
tonight.
having me.
Moon, why don't you take a minute and please tell the people at home where they can find you?
Yeah, once again, you can find me at twitch.tv/Moonvald, and also on twitter.com/Moonvald. If you search Moonvald, you can probably find me elsewhere, but those are the two places I'm most active, so.
Probably aren't too many Moonvalds out there.
No,
So Google it and you'll
I
find
hope
her.
not.
And for us here at the PD Podcast, I'm Fallout Plays. You can find me over at youtube.com/FalloutPlays and twitch.tv/FalloutPlays. You can find Story at youtube.com/StoryMachine. Machine spelled with a 4, not with an A. And twitch.tv/StoryMachine. Machine spelled with a 4, not with an A. You can find Bones at crucibleradio.com and on the Crucible Radio podcast, the podcast for all things Destiny PvP. You can find Mega at youtube.com/HuskyRaid and at twitch.tv/MegaMag, which... Where's Link?
On holiday.
You can find Link on his surprise
Holiday.
vacation, wherever that is, and you can also find him at youtube.com/TheBlackLink. Thank you for joining us. We all love you. See you next week.